We all have battles we face in life, but one of the most difficult and constant struggles is the one that takes place within us. The battle between what we know and what we feel. This is a battle of the mind versus the heart, logic versus emotion, and reason versus instinct. It's a conflict we have all experienced, whether we realize it or not. Think about it. There are moments in life when we know exactly what we should do. We know what the right decision is, what the logical path forward looks like. But despite that knowledge, our feelings pull us in a completely different direction. Our emotions can be overwhelming, persuasive, and often at odds with the clarity of our minds. This internal conflict can be exhausting, and sometimes it leaves us stuck, unsure of how to move forward. Today, I want to talk about this battle between what we know and what we feel, why it's so hard and how we can navigate it to make better decisions in life. Let's start with what we know. Knowledge from experience, learning, and wisdom. It's built on logic, fact, and a clear understanding of the situation. When we are guided by what we know, we tend to make rational, informed decisions that serve us well in the long term. For example, we know that certain choices lead to better outcomes, whether it's taking care of our health, pursuing education, or making sound financial decisions. We know what's good for us and what will benefit us in the future. The challenge is not in knowing what is right. The challenge is in following through on that knowledge, especially when emotions are pulling us in another direction. Now, let's talk about feelings. Our emotions are powerful and they can be both a blessing and a curse. Emotions are what make us human. They connect us to others, they drive our passions, and they give meaning to our experiences. But emotions can also be impulsive, irrational, and reactive. Sometimes they push us to make decisions based on what feels good in the moment without considering the long-term consequences. For instance, we might feel like staying in a comfort zone even when we know it's time to grow and take risks. Or we might feel drawn to something that gives us immediate pleasure, even though we know it's good for us or it's not good for us in the long run. This is where the battle begins. The clash between what we know is best for us and what we feel like doing. The reason this battle between knowledge and feelings is so hard is because both sides are incredibly strong. Knowledge is logical, but feelings are visceral. They come from deep within us and are often tied to our desires, fears, and insecurities. When we are caught in this struggle, it's easy to feel torn out. One moment you might be completely convinced by the rational side of things, and the next your emotions take over and cloud your judgment. You know what you should do, but your heart tells you something different. This is the hardest part, knowing that one decision is right, but feeling like another is easier or more comfortable. And it's often in these moments that we are tempted to give in to what feels right, even if we know it's not the best choice. So how do we navigate this battle? How do we reconcile what we know with what we feel? First, it's important to recognize that both knowledge and emotions have their place in our lives. We need knowledge rather, to guide us, to make wise decisions, and to build a strong foundation for our future. But we also need emotions. They help us connect with others, find joy, and stay passionate about life. The key is finding one balance. One way to do this is by giving yourself space and time to process both your thoughts and feelings before making a decision. When you are in the heat of emotion, it's easy to let your feelings take over. But stepping back allows you to reconnect with what you know is best. Ask yourself, what does my heart want? And then, what do I know to be true? You don't have to ignore your emotions, but you should weigh them against the facts. Sometimes, by taking a step back and reflecting, you can find a path forward that honors both your emotions and your knowledge. Another important factor is recognizing that sometimes the right choice will feel uncomfortable. The truth is, doing what you know is best may not always feel good in the moment. It might require sacrifice, discipline, or stepping out of your comfort zone. But just because something feels hard doesn't mean it's wrong. Is that okay? Just because something feels right doesn't mean it's wrong. In fact, it's often the difficult choices that leads to the greatest growth and reward in the long run. When you are in the middle of this internal battle, remind yourself of the bigger picture. What are your long-term goals? What kind of life do you want to build? Sometimes you have to push past your immediate feelings and trust the knowledge and wisdom that have guided you this far. It takes strength to choose what you know over what you feel, but that strength is within you. The battle between what we know and what we feel is one that we all face at various points in our lives. It's easy and it can feel like a constant struggle, but the key to winning this battle lies in finding balance, in giving space for both knowledge and emotion, and in having the strength to make decisions that save you in the long run. Sit down. Let me talk to you. Let me speak more to you on this subject matter. Now, remember this: your feelings are important, but they are not always the best guide. Trust what you know, trust the wisdom you have gained, and let that be your compass when your emotions try to lead you astray. In the end, it's not about eliminating feelings or dismissing them. It's about learning to navigate them wisely. And when you can do that, you will find that the toughest battles can lead to the greatest victory.